Ah, what a great day. I wonder what the internet's doing. Huh. I haven't made a serious video in a long while. Maybe I should get to that. Or I could just sleep.
Eventually.
Okay, I'll do a video. Just give me 5 minutes.
1 week later.
So, Minecraft. It's pretty good. It's currently the most sold PC game of all time and has attracted several different kinds of people. While nowadays the game isn't that gracious, I do remember a time around 2013 and 2014 when Minecraft was at its peak. It was at a time when adventure maps were everywhere and simply let's playing the game was a pretty good way to get views. I could go over how much I enjoyed these videos and how it inspired me to try and be a let's player myself, but it's not terribly important. Instead, I want to focus on a mod that came out around that era that was extremely popular at the time. The Legend of Notch. Reincarnation. It was talked about heavily way back in the day, but it was later forgotten as everyone moved on to other things, like Hexit. So why am I bringing this mod up? I recently remembered this mod was a thing and thought it'd be fun to try it out again, so I sat down and played it for a bit. Now, I will be spoiling the game and its story, so if you haven't played it yet, but wish to, I'll leave a link to a Technic Launcher mod pack for it. All you have to do is sign into your Technic Launcher through Minecraft and install the pack itself. Now, for everyone else that either has already played through the pack, has watched an old Let's Play of the mod, or simply doesn't give a shit, let's begin. Before I get into the actual mod, I want to talk about the things that are posting on the Minecraft forums page. A gigantic Minecraft modification that turns your game into a completely working role-playing game with huge custom story about 4 to 8 hours, tons of new monsters and NPCs, hundreds of new weapons, armors, items, and mini-games. You play in a massive custom world of 3,000 by 3,000 blocks with dungeons, cities, villages, and more. I mention this now because this mod has annoyed me in a few ways, and I will bring them up as we go along. I do want to bring up one right now. This mod rolls your version of Minecraft back to 1.2.5. Now, I feel like I'm stepping into harsh ground because I genuinely think that this was a bad time. For one, the mods were kinda stupid, and the mechanics were dodgy, and I enjoyed them cheats. The cheats were good. Especially as someone who was, for a while, interested in map making. And 1.4 was the glory days for that, but that's another topic. 1.2.5 just wasn't that great in my eyes. Anyways, let's get on to the game. So we start on a ship to a town called Port Juno, and you meet a girl named Salia. She then points you towards your grandmother's house. Afterwards, she hands you a stone where you two can talk with each other. Now, you might think that she means something in the future of the story. Nope, she becomes meaningless. Yeah, let's go with that. She becomes meaningless to the rest of the story after you pick your class. Anyways, as you're about to leave your house, the guards come in and arrest you for home invasion and bring you to the king. The king then reveals that your grandmother and him were friends and that he may have a use for you. He then sends you to Salia to go pick your class. I picked a maid because I'm a wizard! After that, she hands you the money for a weapon to help you against the wilderness. The next day comes and the king sends you to retrieve taxes from the miller, the hunter, the woodsman, and the bum. I mean, the jobless. Alright, got the miller, got the hunter, got the woodsman, and oh no! John the Jobless is dead, and the king is missing. Oh no! So the queen sends me to Aldor, the royal wizard who lives there, and I am there. So I guess now would be a good time to talk about the main parts of the game. Since it's mostly relevant, let's start with the combat. As a mage, you use your staff and some mana to launch projectiles at enemies. This knocks them back a bit and deals a certain amount of damage to them. You also have access to a handful of spells, but most of them are kinda dinky. The Flame Blast is pretty good, as it blasts flames at enemies, dealing damage to them and igniting them. However, almost randomly, the key to the user's ability just deactivates. Why? The second ability is Triple Blast, as it fires 3 projectiles. That's it. There's an all-around attack, which I assume attacks all around me, I guess. There's Fire Carpet, which on top of having the most idiotic name for a spell I think I've ever heard, ignites random blocks. I doubt this ability is usable without putting yourself in a bad spot, but okay. There's Meditation, which does something. And finally, there's Meteor Storm, which causes gas projectiles to fall out of the sky and cause explosions around you. As surprising as this may be, this is impractical due to how low the damage is. So, the combat, as mentioned, is attacking monsters with your staff or using impractical spells, and watching all the monsters die. So, I guess I'll talk about the monsters then. Well, you fight zombies, spiders, the rare creeper, and wisps. Fuck wisps. Everything mentioned prior acts exactly like it does in the real game, with zombies being slow but beefy, spiders being fast and semi-unpredictable, and creepers wanting to bomb you to Kingdom Come. Wisps are these little bastards that move fairly quickly, are immune to knockback, and can hit you multiple times, causing juggle. There is no strategy with these things, it's just move backwards and keep throwing bolts at them, hoping you don't bump into a wall or another enemy. Their real annoyance, however, is in caves, as they become Satan incarnate, as they move pretty quickly and you run out of room easily. So, what about everyone else? They're kinda like that. Though, fighting a single zombie is hilariously easy. Just stand there and spam your bolts. There are often other enemies like bandits or some rogue mages, but all of them are melee with the exception of the mages. Those guys throw projectiles, but they're pretty easy to evade. I'll talk about more enemies as we go along. For now, we need to reach Aldor's tower. Which leads into another part of this game. Travel. It is slow. I mentioned earlier that the world itself is 3,000 blocks by 3,000 blocks. And I honestly think the world is way too big. If you're not fighting anything, you're most likely walking around from point A to point B, and it's way too open and too big. It takes way too long to get anywhere, and the teleporter dude can only do so much. Yeah, you can buy a horse, but not only is it expensive, but assuming you manage to save up enough money for such a thing, it's really difficult to control. You hold down the W key to make the horse move forward, and then the A and D keys to make a turn. However, the horse moves according to where the head is, and the whole thing feels way too close to tank controls. Combine that with the fact that it moves 3 times faster than your normal speed, and you might as well just pound the dirt. So once you get to Aldor, he tells you about how his 4 evil brothers are out to raise Herobrine and bring the kingdom of Minecraftia, and yes, that's the actual name, into utter darkness. He then uses his magical telescope to point to the Ice Mountains, as that is where the first wizard, the Air Wizard, is. However, unless we make an orb to weaken them, they'll be way too strong for us. For the Air Orb, we need an Ice Flower and an Ice Soul. He then sends you off to the Icy Village to retrieve them, and have I mentioned that I hate repetitious names like this? After a while, I soon arrive in the Ice Village and meet the only resident, Mayor Goofy.
Gosh.
He then tells you that he's willing to give you the Ice Flower if you kill off some spirits that still linger around the village. There's 3 of them and they aren't that tough. After that, he gives it to you and the Ice Flower unlocks the Ice Dungeon, which is near the Icy Village, and I think whoever wrote this needs a thesaurus. Anyways, the dungeons cause you to fall in a pool of water and you have to find the very end. And where's he, may ask? Behind some parkour! Yeah, there's some parkour segments here and there, and I only recall ever tolerating it once. I'll get to that later. As for most of these, I'll admit I cheated here. I went at MC Edit and added a chunks of snow blocks, and solely because I'm not dealing with the ice parkour. Why is this even here? Anyways, after trying to beat the boss, I die. Respawn in Biome, which should be renamed to Respawn in the nearest town. Also, why is Respawn in City even an option? Anyways, after trying this over and over again, I reached the area because I swear the spawn rates of the monsters ranged from almost non-existent to fill the entire room with enemies! It took me a while, but I got there. The one staff doesn't do a lot of damage. Well, you could upgrade your staff, right? Boy! Yes, each staff does do more damage, but with higher mana cost and, for some strange reason, a slower firing rate. I don't know why this is the case, but the only thing I can think of is balance. But it makes the later staffs a questionable option, especially since accuracy is an important aspect of this mod. Anyways, after gathering the Ice Soul, I walk all the way back to Aldor. Yeah, not only is this world way too big, but it's full of this constant back and forth bullshit. You constantly have to go between the next zone and collect the items needed to make the orb, go back to Aldor to make it, and then go back to zone to fight the area to use the orb and kill the wizard. However, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's go kill the Air Wizard real quick. Okay, climb the mountain, use the orb, and ah! Why is he so strong? Dead. It took me a few tries, but the final blow is when I kited him near the Icy Village and sniped him from a distance. Now that he's dead, we can move along to the Water Wizard in the jungle. To weaken him, I need Jungle Poison and a Water Amulet. Alright. So after getting there, I soon run into more interesting monsters along with the spiders, and why are these things everywhere? There are also turtles, snakes, and flowers. So it's already got more interesting variety of monsters than the other zones. Good. Anyways, after arriving at the tribe's village, the chief said that he will only make the poison for tribesmen, and in order to join, I simply have to do a few tasks for them. Alright, then let's... Oh. My least favorite aspect of Minecraft. Why? The other tasks aren't that great either. Retrieve 3 turtle shells, read a sign from an old grave, beat a dude up, and scratch someone's back. I wish I was joking. After all that is done, the chief lets you in and tells you that he needs 4 ingredients. Turtle poison, spider poison, a poisonous flower, and a poisonous snake egg. 3 out of 4 of these I already got while wandering around, but the egg... Well, you know that one quest on WoW that Horde players had to do in the Barrens? The one where you had to kill zebras in order to gather hooves? The issues were that the zebra were rare and that the hooves had a rare drop chance. The snakes seem to have the same problems. A rare spawn and a rare drop chance. Still, against all odds, I Why must you torture me this way? Okay, I got the egg. Now give me the fucking poison. Alright, now I can go get the water amulet and move along. The temple is stupidly easy and that the challenge is finding the damn place. Once that's done, just get all the way in and grab the amulet. Back to Aldor, get the water orb, beat the wizard with the boots of water walking, which I feel I should mention is that the name is a lie. It's more like the boots of slower sinking. Anyways, after that's done, he then sends me off to the desert to retrieve a pharaoh's mask and a blood diamond. Oh boy, do I have some things to say about this one. So, to get the pharaoh's mask, you have to go into the pyramid north, kill the pharaoh, and get it from him. Sounds simple, right? Nothing is simple in this. There's an entire parkour course in here. Honestly, I got so fed up with it that I honestly used MC Edit again and added birch planks to simply walk over it. I was losing my patience here. I have to ask if the pharaoh wanted this here, like, when I die, I want a decent-sized parkour course leading into my chambers, and I want it leading into the resting place. I have spoken! Anyways, beat the pharaoh, got the mask, woo! The blood diamond requires you to use a special entrance that can only be accessed through this drop-down. I have 25 health. Now I have 3 health after I fell. This is bad level design. Anyways, this is divided up into 2 parts. Part 1 is a maze where you flick 6 switches to continue. It's not too bad, other than how I got a bit lost, but it is a maze, so I guess it's par for the course. Part 2 is more parkour. Why? Why is this here? All this tells me that the guys behind this couldn't think of an interesting or brain-taxing way to unlock the next room, so they took some parkour courses and simply decided to slap them into the map, no matter how unfitting and unneeded it is. Whatever, I got the blood diamond. I head back to Aldor, who makes the earth orb and teleports me to the place the earth wizard is at? Okay, that raises a few questions. How come you didn't do that before? Why didn't you teleport me to the areas prior to this one? The area in the Earth Wizard isn't even that far from the town, so what was the point of the teleport? I don't get why these design choices were made. It almost feels like whoever's designing the mod just didn't know what they were doing. And I mean, the story's just been kill these 4 wizards and watch as they tell you nothing. The combat has either been stand still and hold right click until you win and or run out of mana, or wisps! Ah! Kill them! Kill them! And the world itself is honestly not that well designed. It begs the question, what about this mod is enjoyable? Nothing really. So I killed the Earth Wizard. Also, I should mention this now because it's going to be a question later, but if you hold down K and 0, you get a shit ton of XP and money. I used the extra attribute points into mana regen. Oh yeah, did I mention that? No? Might as well do it now. There are 8 attributes you can increase. Health regen, mana regen, magic damage, speed, and defense. The first 4 are obvious in what they do, and the last 4 seem to have no real effect. I tried upgrading them through my playthrough, but I don't feel any stronger. Well, either way, I now have infinite mana! Anyways, I go back to Aldor and he tells me that the fire wizard is at the volcano. And yes, it's Vol and not Vol. Mispronounce it and you get thrown in and sacrificed to the god of fire. Here we see a glowing crystal and a fire heart. The glowing crystal is held by a miner named Bill, and he'll only give it to us if we kill 7 fire spiders, 4 lava zombies, and 10 blazes. You'd think he'd ask about the fire wisps, but I guess he hasn't had any problem with them. Anyways, other than being in weird locations, the quest itself isn't that bad. The spiders go down in 2 hits, and the blazes, the poor blazes just get demolished. Anyways, I go back and get the glowing crystal from the dude, and then drop down to the cave below. I almost feel like halfway through designing the world, the guys behind this just flat out gave up, as there are many drops like this. Anyways, there's parkour down here too, but it's actually tolerable, as despite the lava being as close as it is, the parkour here is surprisingly easy. Besides, even if I touch the lava, I could hop down and let my peaceful level of health regen keep me up. Now, if the fire wisps would be kind enough to not beat me to a pulp, that would be great. Anyways, beat the ghost and got the fire heart. Back to Aldor and got the fire orb. Used it and got my ass handed to me by the fire wizard. The dude is supersonic fast. Second time goes slightly better, but the blazes are fucking dangerous if left alone. Third time I beat him down and it's revealed that the darkness will fall over the earth. I go back to Aldor and he reveals that there's a potential 5th wizard. The Shadow Wizard. Yeah, okay, whatever. Let's drag this out for way longer than we really should. Anyways, to do this, we need a rusty sword, a lost soul, and a golden cross. All of which are found in the corrupted forest. Here's where some pretty powerful zombies lie. These guys can take quite a beating. Anyways, where are all the items? The rusty sword is in the east. Go to a crypt in a graveyard and kill the old zombie warrior. He then drops the sword. Okay. The lost soul requires talking to this dude named Frank. Frank tells you that his daughter's grave is in the area, but he doesn't want you touching it. But he's willing to let her go if you help his son. His son, named Gerald, is not too far off from the village. Makes me wonder why he needed me to help there. Anyways, I go talk to him. What the actual fuck? Look at this! Thankfully, all I had to do was sit in the tree and cheese the fight. Gerald then goes back to his dad, and Frank tells me to go on a small island, and as a thank you for protecting your brother, the daughter willingly comes along. The Golden Cross is kinda stupid. You go to a mansion that's here, I guess, and talk to the butler. He then tells his master, Sir Ernest, is on vacation. I then assume he's lying and ask the chef who said he's seen a few minutes ago. I have a few questions, such as, how do you know the butler's lying? How do you know the chef isn't lying? Why would you assume ill intent? Why would you then proceed to rummage through every chest in this place? You criminal! I got the key. I then use it on the iron door which summons Sir Ernest, and I guess instead of talking it out, he tries to fight me. Hey, you're lost, buddy. I take them back, and Eldor uses a telescope and reveals that the king is the Shadow Wizard. The guards then come in and arrest me. Not Eldor, just me. Yeah, okay. So the king reveals that I'm the chosen one and that I've been a pest in his plans, before walking away. I then escape from the shockingly easy to escape cell and fight the Shadow Wizard, who is the worst wizard of them all. Why did Herobrine employ you, you pathetic fuck? I then go back to Eldor, who tells me that Herobrine has been summoned, despite our efforts. Okay, so I have to go to the Farlands. Annoying, considering how far it is, but whatever. Now I get to deal with bandits. Did Herobrine hire a bandit clan to help him? Whatever. I get to face the... There are wisps here. I knew it! They're evil! Okay, got back there. Now comes the final showdown between Herobrine and I. And it's at this point that I lost my patience and flat out gave up. Herobrine is so full of bullshit. He has moments of pure invulnerability and he likes to summon. He really likes to summon. He summons zombies, skeletons, which is the first time in this mod that I've seen these bastards, and blazes. Oh yeah, and he summons bandits too. And he doesn't just summon 6 every so often. He summons them every few seconds to the point where monsters are everywhere. And I could maybe tolerate this if he was spawning weak enemies that could be dispatched in 3 hits max. Nope! He spawns zombies from the corrupted lands. The high-level zombies that serve as nothing more than damage sponges. The only way I can dispatch them quickly is to drop them in void, but I have no efficient way to knock them back, especially en masse. Over time, I lost my patience and flat out gave up. Herobrine wins. This game. I like the idea behind this, and I think that if more time and effort was poured into this, both in balancing it out and making the world more than just an empty plane of existence with only a small number of parkour courses, I feel like it could have worked. However, as it is, it's so poorly designed that it feels like it's trying to constantly kick me down. I don't know if it's because the bosses are overtuned or it's because of how 1.2.5 had some weird AI issues, but I feel like this could have been more fun and interesting. Instead, we have an example of rushing a product out the door to try and get a glimmer of the Minecraft community, before they then chew you up quickly and spit you out, only to be forgotten. Now, I could sit down and list all the changes and fixes I think would make this more interesting and or fun, but the mod itself has been discontinued. So, you ask, what was the point of this video?